There is a debt to be paid in 2022, and thankfully, Elon Musk has been sounding the alarm. The debt we're discussing is a long overdue recession. Several investors have a forecast of an economic slowdown. While no one has said when it would happen, Elon Musk believes it will come soon. He predicts that it will happen in the year 2022. It may seem strange to ask, but some people may be asking who Elon Musk thinks he is to be so certain in predicting a recession. For one thing, he and his enterprises have weathered many recessions. In this video, we will look at Elon Musk's forecast for a financial crisis that he expects will occur in the near future. But first, if this is your first visit to our Smart Stocks Academy channel, please accept my warmest greeting. Hit the like button, subscribe, and click the notification bell next to it to be the first to know when a new video is produced. So if you're ready, let's get to the topic. Elon Musk has had to deal with major financial problems in the past. He got his start in the 1990s with a company he co-founded with his brother. Everyone was affected when the dot-com bubble burst at the turn of the century, but Elon Musk managed to stay afloat. As CEO of Tesla and SpaceX in 2008, he once again endured a recession, and both companies nearly went bankrupt as a result. However, he was able to overcome the worst to become as successful as he is now. Elon believes we are on the verge of something similar now, and that it will happen in the next few months in 2022. There is a bubble, similar to the one that existed in the 1990s, when many people owned multi-million-dollar businesses. We currently have 1,000 enterprises with a market capitalization of more than $1 billion. This is a rare occurrence. It is a figure that can't be sustained. According to Elon Musk, most of these companies will cease to exist in the next 5 years. And anyone familiar with the pruning process knows that it will be swift, ruthless, and painful. To put things into perspective, between 2020 and 2021, over 160,000 US businesses filed for bankruptcy protection. So the question is straightforward. How did that number grow so quickly? And how many of the existing businesses will survive the impending purge? Elon believes that there aren't many people like him. He believes that the next recession will occur in 2022 or at the very least in 2023. Consumer prices are rising at a faster rate than any other time in history. And one of the key causes is the government's excessive spending, which caused the government to print its way out of the 2020 recession. Now, the same administration is scurrying to raise taxes to keep its head above the water. To keep the federal budget funded, an ordinary American worker now has to spend nearly $22 per hour. That is a ridiculous sum. The Federal Reserve plans to boost interest rates and slow quantitative easing, which is when the Fed buys bonds, in order to reduce the government's budget deficit. The Federal Reserve just made a press statement indicating that interest rates will need to be raised to 0.9% in 2022. While 0.9% may seem insignificant, it is a significant increase when compared to the average interest rate over the previous decade. And this is not the first time the Federal Reserve has attempted this. They also tried to raise interest rates to 2.4% in 2019, but the market reacted negatively, forcing them to lower interest rates to 1.5%, and this was before the epidemic even began. 0% interest rates have already grown overly reliant on financial markets. Any increase in the rate, even if it's only 0.9%, will have a detrimental influence on the market. The key concern today is what will happen if the Federal Reserve does raise interest rates. When the Federal Reserve raises the federal funds target rate, the purpose is to raise lending costs across the economy. Higher interest rates make loans more expensive for both firms and consumers, resulting in increased interest payments for everyone. Those who couldn't or would not pay the higher payment postponed initiatives requiring financing. It also encourages consumers to save money in order to receive bigger interest payments. This reduces the amount of money in circulation, which tends to lower inflation and moderate economic activity, also known as cooling the economy. In addition to mortgages, rising interest rates have an effect on stock markets, credit cards, personal loans, student loans, auto loans, and business loans. To put it in another way, no sector will be spared. Elon Musk forecasts the recession may occur as early as spring 2022, which is just around when the Federal Reserve will stop buying bonds. What I just said might sound bad enough, but it could even be hinting at an economic disaster worse than a recession. A recession is defined as 2 consecutive quarters of negative gross domestic product growth. As a result, even if the economy shrank by 0.5% for 2 quarters, it would still be deemed a recession. A depression, on the other hand, occurs when the GDP falls more than 10% in a single year. The Great Depression is one of the most well-known examples. The US GDP fell by 30% during this tragic event, and, like with every previous financial crisis, economic success preceded the Great Depression. It was known as the Roaring Twenties. The 1920s were one of the most speculative periods in history, which inevitably led to the Great Depression. Consider the level of speculative activity we are seeing right now. We now live in a time where JPEGs with no intrinsic value are sold for tens of millions of dollars. From the comfort of their own bedrooms, teenagers are becoming millionaires. Third world communities are making a lot of money by playing crypto games. I'm not sure what this is if it is not the Roaring Twenties. One of the main causes inciting a recession, according to Cathie Wood, who we've covered in the past videos and whose view on Elon Musk trusts, is expanding retail inventory. As supply networks fail to satisfy customer demand, shop inventories are falling sharply from pre-pandemic levels. As a result, firms have started ordering ridiculously large quantities of goods to keep up with the customer demand. The issue is that they have exceeded the stated demand. There's a lot of inventory sitting around doing nothing. Retail inventories have increased by more than 3%, while imports have increased by 7%. Cathie estimates that inventories will rise at a rate of 24% per year. This will undoubtedly result in a slowing of the economy, which will eventually lead to a recession. There are 2 sides of this fence right now. 1, those who feel a recession is on the way, and 2, those who believe there is more to fear than fire. The latter, on the other hand, was more market neutral. While Cathie has shorted established firms such as GM, which she believes will suffer greatly if the stock market crashes, Ray Dalio, the world's largest hedge fund manager, believes that buying Chinese stock will provide profits that will de-risk investment portfolios. What has been done by politicians to try to rescue the situation? Honestly, not a lot. And this isn't even talking about Elon Musk. Former Treasury Secretary Lauren Summers has stated that the White House is misinformed about the causes of high inflation. Attempts to blame the impending recession on corporate greed, he argued, have only raised the likelihood that a recession will be required to rein in rising prices. A catastrophic misdiagnosis of the problem has occurred, when the truth is that we have an overheated economy that needs to cool off. The government has been coming for billionaires and their taxes. Elon Musk has proceeded on his own path of invention, while the government figures out its politics, and hopefully finds a solution in the process. No one knows what his intentions are for alleviating the recession, but as a man who has weathered 2 of the most severe economic downturns in recent history, we're confident he will be fine. And with that, today's video comes to an end. If you haven't already, hit the like button below to show your love and support for this video. Also, subscribe to the channel by clicking the subscribe button and turning on the notification bell right next to it to be the first to know when a new video is posted. Thank you for stopping by to watch, and we hope you had a great time. We hope to see you again soon.